Just a couple of minutes late. My apologies. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is the afternoon coffee talk. Just got over to visit my mom for a couple minutes. So we're going to do this thing from the car and use my iPhone and my iPad for it. So it may not be the most technologically advanced coffee talk you've ever seen, but it's going to be a coffee talk. And for that, hopefully you're going to be okay. I hope so. Anyway, that said, let's take a look and see what's doing outside right now. Oh, of course. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. There we are. Okay. Temperatures across Central Florida looking nice and warm. It's 91 degrees outside in Orlando right now. It's about 93 in Wildwood, 89 degrees in Daytona Beach. We peek in and see what's doing on our first warning live Doppler radar. And frankly, it is lovely outside. There's just not much doing across Central Florida. So for now, it looks like it's going to be a nice and relatively quiet afternoon and evening for us. If you've got out and about plans, the good news is we don't have any big weather problems to contend with at this hour. We take a look at the forecast planner. I'm doing this on my iPad. And it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I'm trying to roll with the punches for you. But basically for us tonight, what we're looking at is a nice and quiet evening across Central Florida. Temperatures are little by little going to be dropping. It's going to be a nice and mainly dry evening for us. Here's a look at the forecast over the next couple of hours. It's falling into the lower 80s by 9 o'clock, about 80 degrees by 11 o'clock, and of course, little by little, we're going to continue to drop from there. So we're looking pretty good, all said and done in Central Florida. Okay, that's where we're at here locally. That said, we've got a whole lot of stuff to track out in the tropics. A couple of very important points when we look to the tropics. First things first, out of all of the stuff that we're looking at here, none of this, let me move the camera up just a smidge here. None of this is expected to bother us whatsoever in Central Florida. You've got potential tropical cyclone 9 out in the Gulf of Mexico. It's kind of doing its thing, working over toward Texas and Mexico. More than likely, we'll get a name before all is said and done. Then you've got Franklin in the Caribbean. Franklin is looking pretty well organized, you ask me. And then you've got Gert falling apart. Emily has already fallen apart. And then back behind Emily, you've got another wave. So there's a lot of stuff to track, right? First off, here's the first forecast cone for potential tropical cyclone 9. All right, expected to make landfall sometime early tomorrow morning in South Texas as a tropical storm, bringing much needed rainfall to the Rio Grande. Much needed rainfall to them. All right, winds are at 35. We look at the satellite imagery from this thing, and it's just not well organized yet, but it's going to bring a whole bunch of moisture to an area that certainly could use a whole bunch of moisture. Okay, so that's that thing. Then we move over to Caribbean Sea, and in the Caribbean, of course, we've got Franklin. Take a look at this satellite imagery. Franklin has a really healthy convection burst this morning, and it's definitely feeling some wind shear. That wind shear is eventually going to move the storm system into a bit of a recurvature. Look at that hard right turn, crossing over the Dominican Republic, crossing over Haiti, at which point in time, of course, it undergoes some terrain issues, right? That makes perfect sense. That terrain issue is going to keep Franklin relatively weak, but looking ahead to like late week, it's possible that that thing could eventually find its way up to hurricane intensity. So definitely one of those things we're going to have to watch very closely, see how it plays out. Overwhelmingly, though, no threats to us, thankfully, here in Central Florida. Okay, so all looking good. All looking good. I think that that's the most important note here is that out of all the stuff we are tracking in the tropics, things are going to continue to look relatively unthreatening to us in Central Florida. And that's definitely what we want to see. All right? That's where we're at. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? We've got Franklin, we've got the remnant Gert, and Emily and all of these things. Yeah, thankfully, no big threats for us in Central Florida. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. Listen, I hope you have a great afternoon and a great evening. Be the sunshine in someone else's day, and we'll another Facebook broadcast for you coming up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And by the way, don't let me forget. We also have Tracking the Tropics tomorrow morning as well. Okay, sound good? All right, be the sunshine. See y'all later. Bye.